Public lands in the United States and abroad are in crisis. As more and more tourists visit these natural wonders, the land that they came to admire is degraded. If we continue to overcrowd our public lands, they might just disappear.
Ecotourism, as defined by Caroline J. Stem et al., is the environmentally responsible travel to relatively undisturbed natural areas in order to appreciate nature. The intention is to promote conservation as well as economic growth. However, there are several unintended consequences of this mentality. In this video, we are looking at the environmental and ecological dynamics as well as the economic, cultural, and societal impacts of this industry. We will focus first on a case study in Mexico that deals with the destruction of cultural symbols and historic artifacts, as well as the ecological impacts of these activities. In Costa Rica, we see that ecotourism has had positive impacts on local economies. However, it has had negative impacts on the environment, such as increased pollution in these once pristine landscapes. On the island nation of Palau, ecotourism has helped create awareness of the need to preserve sharks, as they are being killed across the globe at astonishingly high rates for shark fin soup. Finally, we focus on ecotourism in public lands across the United States and how increasing numbers of tourists can be both beneficial to conservation efforts and damaging to delicate ecosystems.
Ecotourism benefits rural communities such as Cobá, Mexico. The Mayan ruins are located in Cobá, causing an economic boost in this small town, benefiting hundreds of families through jobs such as local guides, cooks, waitresses, and family businesses. In Playa del Carmen, small businesses are key to the economy, providing small, locally owned hotels and boutiques rapid growth of tourism and local economy in the area. Overuse can have a negative impact to ecotourism. The historic Mayan ruins of Tulum and Cobá, Mexico, are being destroyed by the heavy use of thousands of visitors a day. This is also causing stress on the jungle and wildlife that is being disrupted by overuse day after day. Cozumel is the #1 cruise destination in Mexico, with over 5 million visitors a year. The Cozumel Reef National Park protects the reefs, and groups like the Mesoamerican Reef Tourism Initiative works to protect the area and still draw in tourists, while teaching visitors the importance of protecting the area while still enjoying it.
Costa Rica contains 5% of the world's biodiversity in a country that is only 0.03% of Earth's land surface. Nearly 1/4 of Costa Rica is of protected status, and more farmland is converted to conservation protection each year. Ecotourism has improved many communities by bringing more sustainable economic opportunity. For example, in the Cayuta National Park, the community and government share in management. The government even trains local people to be tour guides and operators. However, ecotourism has increased the rates of male prostitution and drug dealing, which is very concerning. Ecotourism also produces huge amounts of waste, which many communities cannot dispose of properly. Ecotourism in Costa Rica has also increased foreign property ownership, especially on coastal land. This has resulted in limited affordable housing. In many urban areas, ecotourism has caused the cost of living to significantly increase.
Ecotourism has many positive effects for both the environment and people by producing conservation awareness. Tourists benefit by enjoying new experiences while learning about an environmental interest. Ecotourism is meant to be low impact and is often on a small scale instead of commercial mass tourism. The economies of many developing countries are dependent on natural resources and agriculture. Some developing countries could benefit from ecotourism because it provides employment while preserving the ecological beauty that would otherwise be threatened by agriculture or harvesting. Ecotourism can take the form of a variety of activities, from hiking on trails in a remote rainforest to diving in clear waters to see sharks in the coral reef. Shark diving in the waters near Palau is an important part of tourism and is valued by local communities for its sustainability and profit. Instead of killing the sharks for their fins and products used in shark fin soup, the sharks are protected as an attraction for tourists and divers. Many countries around the world can benefit from ecotourism by giving unspoiled locations and wildlife and economic value without destruction. If done correctly, the benefits of ecotourism can be realized, preserving native cultures, protecting fragile environments, and providing economic opportunity.
Each year, the United States National Park Service sees over 300 million visitors to the 417 parks operated by the NPS. These visitors come from across the globe to see the sights and landmarks that distinguish the American landscape. Yet after the National Park Service celebrated its 100th anniversary in 2016, new concerns have been raised that the number of tourists visiting some parks is greatly outstripping the infrastructure within those areas. While the Park Service's goal is to protect these natural areas, the draw of these parks for ecotourists often causes secondary problems as visitors flock to parks such as Yellowstone, Grand Canyon, and the Great Smoky Mountains. For example, some parks have had to develop new roads and other infrastructure to accommodate larger crowds or restrict the number of individuals who can visit. As evidenced by the Visitor Experience and Resource Protection Framework in Big Cypress National Preserve, each park has a definite carrying capacity for visitors, beyond which could lead to damage to the resources and sites that the visitors have come to experience. Not only can ecotourism cause overcrowding within the parks and lead to resource damage, the draw of visitors to these natural areas also affects nearby communities and the surrounding landscape. Many parks have nearby towns that rely heavily on tourism income through gift shops, grocery stores, lodging, etc. Ecotourism offers a source of income for these communities and offers opportunities for growth of these neighboring developments. Visitors, in turn, are drawn to areas that have amenities, which brings in more revenue and allows for further development, which continues to increase the cycle of development surrounding the park. Areas like this can encourage overcrowding in parks and can lead to degradation of ecosystems outside of the park's borders, creating greater landscape contrast and other habitat issues for wildlife living near the park's borders. As ecotourists visit from all over the United States and from across the world, another potential threat is invasive species. The high rate of visitors increases the chances of an accidental introduction of an invasive species to these natural areas that can already be highly disturbed by human traffic or through development of infrastructure.
Ecotourism can be very beneficial to the local community's economy. It also increases environmental awareness among tourists as well as generating financial resources for maintaining our world's most beautiful environments.
But ecotourism often displaces local communities, and the high volume of tourist traffic degrades ecosystems over time. At the end of the day, conservation-minded land managers alongside responsible tourists is the key to preserving our public lands.